So thank you very much for everybody being here this morning. My name is Mike Testa, and I'm the President and CEO of Visit Sacramento. On behalf of the hospitality and culinary community here in America's Farm to Fork capital, I'd like to thank you all for traveling, some from across the world, to Sacramento for such an important announcement. I know that everyone is anxious to hear more about why we're here today, so without further delay, let's get to it. For a proper welcome to our city, let me introduce the Sacramento City Council member whose district this arena sits in. Representing District 4, Steve Hansen is an elected official who knows firsthand the value of our region's culinary community and has long been a champion of Sacramento's food identity. Ladies and gentlemen, from the City of Sacramento, Steve Hansen.
Good morning. In the midst of the rain, we have a beautiful rainbow about to transpire here in front of you. First, I'd like to welcome my two colleagues, Vice Mayor Eric Guerra and Mayor Pro Tem Andy Cassidy. It's not lost on many of you that Sacramento is going through a transition. Mayor Steinberg sends his regards. He is in the middle of dealing with another issue, but wanted me today to convey that we are a city not only on the move, but who remembers where it comes from. We're a people of the earth, we're a people who have grown, and we're a people who enjoy great food. And so for today, this is an amazing opportunity to welcome, and I would like to say, en français, bienvenue à Sacramento, Michelin. This is an amazing opportunity for us to continue to be everything that we can be and to support our farmers, our restaurateurs, our chefs, our restaurant workers, and the people who make this community so great. Mostly the people like me who just love to eat and love to have great experiences. So thank you and welcome today on behalf of the City of Sacramento.
Thank you, Councilmember Hansen. I'd also like to recognize our friends from the County of Sacramento here with us today, and I'd also like to give my thanks to Councilmembers Ashby and Guerra. Both have been tremendous supporters of the farm community and the food community. Thank you very much for all of your support. And now we're going to move on to what so many of us have looked forward to for so long. It's my pleasure to introduce a man who has quietly visited Sacramento and the state of California multiple times over the past year and a half. The International Director of Michelin Guides, Wendell Pulenik.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone, and to our viewers online. My name is Wendell Pulenik, and I am the International Director of the Michelin Guides. Our Michelin Guide team and our partners at Visit California and Visit Sacramento have been looking forward for this day for quite some time. As the International Director of the Michelin Guides, my mission is to increase the international footprint of the guide and, in doing so, to seek talented chefs and their innovative cuisine wherever they are throughout the world. I have experienced the impact that the Michelin Guide had on a destination firsthand over the past 15 years with Michelin. As we launch US guides in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and more recently, Washington, D.C. I have lived and worked in Japan for the guide's inaugural expansion in Asia, and I was closely involved with the 12 new editions of the guides that follow in various global destinations. Our company's founders, Edouard and André Michelin, published the first Michelin Guide in 1900 to provide early motorists with useful information about where to stay and service and repair their cars. Within just a few years, the Michelin Guide included restaurants as well. In 1926, the star rating system was introduced to celebrate outstanding restaurants with excellence in cuisine. The Michelin Guide has been hailed as one of the most innovative marketing stories in business history and continues to be a hallmark of innovation in global cuisine. The guide has expanded over time and is now present in more than 30 countries. A Michelin star is a distinction that few chefs in the world ever achieve. Globally, out of the 15,000 restaurants in all of the guides, only 14% of the selection have got a star. Although the guide continues to grow and evolve, its values and criteria remain timeless. The anonymous inspectors still maintain the same criteria to evaluate a restaurant anywhere in the world. First, the quality of the ingredients. Second, the mastery of cooking. Then the balance of harmony and flavors. The personality of the chef as it is expressed on the plate. And consistency over time, both during the meal and throughout the year. Today, it is my privilege to introduce the Michelin Guide California. This is Michelin's first regional guide in the United States, and it will cover community across the Golden State, expanding today's coverage of the San Francisco Bay Area and Wine Country to include Greater Los Angeles, Monterey, Orange County, Sacramento, Santa Barbara, and San Diego. This is a new and exciting partnership with Visit California that combine their strengths in tourism with Michelin Guide 120 plus years of experience in gastronomy. Michelin and Visit California share values for innovation and building trust among customers, and together we recognize California as the land of food and wine. This announcement is an exciting opportunity not only to expand the Michelin Guide as the brand by building trust and familiarity among a whole new segment of diners whose preference for cuisine and travel continue to evolve. We are also aiming to attract many visitors from around the world who are looking for high quality and memorable culinary experiences offered by your talented chefs. Ernst & Young has recently made a study which includes a survey of international travelers for 6 of the main tourist markets. And that also explored the global impact of the Michelin Guide on a regional scale. Focusing on the San Francisco Napa Valley area, Ernst & Young confirmed what many of the chefs at star restaurants and other partners tell us. 84% of travelers trust the Michelin Guide, and 42% have already used it to choose a restaurant when traveling abroad. Almost 2/3 of respondents say that the Michelin Guide is decisive in their choice of a destination, and 71% of respondents said that the existence of a Michelin star restaurant in a destination would increase their spend when eating out. It has a significant impact on the local economy and jobs. In San Francisco, in 2018, more than 3,300 additional jobs were created and supported throughout culinary and associated industry by Michelin-starred restaurants. This full report will be available in the next couple of weeks. We look forward to continued impact as a Michelin Guide will have with our new expansion. Michelin inspectors have been dining anonymously around California over the past years, and they have been very impressed with the creativity displayed by your chefs and the quality of fresh ingredients across the state. They have noted that California's culinary scene continues to boom and set trends. And it produces talented, homegrown chefs who are the cornerstone of California's signature high-quality, yet laid-back dining ambiance. Michelin will continue to honor its commitment to our readers with the integrity of our editorial process that dates back more than 120 years. The selection in the California Guide will be fully independent from our business partnership, and it is with every edition of the guide throughout the world. We will reveal the 2019 Star Selection for California during a Star Revelation event planned for early June, and which will take place in Huntington Beach. We fully intend to deliver an experience that is true to California's iconic culture and cuisine, and which will encapsulate the passion and emotion that is evident in the dining experiences provided by your chefs. On Michelin's behalf, I offer our thanks to Visit California and its member organizations, especially our host today from Visit Sacramento, for bringing this ambitious vision to life. We look forward to seeing you all again in a few months to celebrate the stars in the very first Michelin Guide California.
Every day we put this pressure on ourselves to do the best we can.
All what I created had to be more elegant. They have to be a Michelin star dishes to me.
Cuisine, when you work at this level, has to be personal.
If you're passionate about what you do, it's just going to come out on you, yes, and the inspectors and the
I was lucky to work with some chefs that had worked in Michelin-starred restaurants, and that kind of actually inspired me right from the age of 14, 15 years old.
No matter what, Michelin is Michelin.
It's the Bible, the world Bible for food.
I now have the honor and privilege of introducing our next speaker. As the French of the French Laundry in Napa Valley and per se in New York, among other restaurants, Thomas Keller is the first and only American-born chef to hold multiple 3-star ratings from the Michelin Guide. As the first 3-star recipient in the Michelin Guide San Francisco, Chef Keller has trained a wide range of talented chefs, many who have their very own Michelin star restaurant today. We are thrilled to have him with us this morning and are grateful for his influence and legacy in the culinary world. Please welcome Chef Thomas Keller.
Thank you, Gwenda. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Visit California. It's always a pleasure to have that support for everybody here in our great state. And of course, Sacramento. Thank you for welcoming us to this magnificent arena. It's the first time I've been here, so it's fantastic. And again, thank all of you. I see some of my colleagues here in the front row who represent 9 Michelin stars. Great to have you here, Michael, Corey, Alvin. Are you planning on opening a restaurant here in California soon? Okay, good to know. Come on up. Certainly Michelin has been the premier travel guide in the world since the 1900s. It's been aspirational for generations of chefs and restaurateurs in France, then in Europe, then in America, and then in Asia. It continues to grow its influence and expanse, and we're very, very proud to be part of this extraordinary family called Michelin. During most of my career, never did I think Michelin would ever come to America, nor would I have imagined that I would be the recipient of their stars and recognition. I want to thank those who have helped me along my path and my career, and the teams that have been at Per Se, French Laundry, Bouchon, Ad Hoc, that have shown such commitment and dedication to their craft, to each other, and of course to our guests, to help achieve what we've all achieved together. Michelin's always represented the pinnacle of cuisine and what it means to be a chef and restaurateur. Back in 2006, chefs of my generation were excited to hear that Michelin was coming to America, first to New York, and then to our great city, San Francisco, and of course, the wine country. To be the first American chef to receive 3 Michelin stars from the Guide, for which I have such great respect and admiration for, was beyond my imagination. Our teams were humbled and grateful for the recognition and understand the responsibility that we bear by having been recognized by Michelin. Michelin sets the standards for what chefs, restaurateurs, and diners can expect from a Michelin experience. To now have the Guide extend to cover all of California, my home state, and include additional cities means this lends much more credibility to what we are doing here in the great state of California. It also highlights the importance that this state plays in the landscape of restaurants across America. There is amazing talent among the hardworking chefs in California in many generations, and I look forward to an exciting future as we continue bringing Michelin respected restaurants and chefs to our great state. I have no doubt that Michelin's influence, already so profound, will continue to grow, as well as its reputation as a gold standard of culinary guides around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Keller. It's truly an honor to have you here today. When Visit Sacramento first began conversations with Michelin, it became apparent that a presence in the Guide meant more than just Sacramento. And so when it came time for us to engage a leader in an organization that isn't afraid to dream big and think boldly, there was only one phone call to make. From our first meeting with Carolyn Batetta and her team at Visit California, we knew that we had found the right partner. Quite simply, Visit California took an idea and an opportunity and turned it into reality. Michelin in California simply does not come to fruition without them. With that, it's my great pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Visit California, Carolyn Batetta.
We're so thrilled that you and the media could join us from throughout the country and internationally. And thank you, Mike, for being such an incredible steward in getting us to this place, and your team. And what an incredible venue. I can't help as a local that has an office across the street just to say, go Kings, little go Kings. And I'm so thrilled that our friends at Michelin actually got to experience a little of that incredible entertainment last night too. So again, thanks everybody for being with us today. It's incredible. I also want to recognize many of the destinations that took the time to come and some of the highlights that Gwendol talked about that will be seen in the coming months. So if you can bear with me, I'd like to recognize those destinations personally, starting with Joe D'Alessandro and Howard Pickett. If you guys can stand, that's great. Thanks from San Francisco. As well as Lindsay Gallagher from Visit Napa Valley. There she is. And Claudia Vivecchio from Visit Sonoma. Tammy Canavan, Monterey. A little bit further down the coast, Kathy Janega Dykes, CEO, Visit Santa Barbara. Mr. Ed Fuller, CEO of Visit Orange County Tourism Association. Charles Harris from Visit Anaheim, Orange County. There he is over there. And Candace Ely from San Diego Travel and Tourism. I'm already inspired. That was a little bit of a peek into what's coming, obviously. You know, chefs commonly cite that receiving recognition from Michelin is their ultimate dream. In California, we dream big, and today's partnership announcement is just one example of how big we can dream in this state. Diversity is so important, as well as both culturally and geographically, that's created this global appeal for California, making it the #1 travel destination in the United States. And it's really because of that, coupled with some of our key partners today in Visit California, that we've reached far and wide for many years to continue to generate demand and interest and welcoming all dreams to California. Tourism's booming in California. We've seen 8 consecutive years of record growth. Visitors are spending $132 billion in the state, supporting more than 1 million jobs and generating about $11 billion in state and local tax revenue. And of course, California's iconic culinary culture is a major part of that. A destination driver that's renowned around the world. Not only is training a top motivation for travelers when choosing a destination, but more than 1/4 of total traveler spending is coming out of this critical segment. Culinary travelers are the highest per capita travelers we have, and fully 1/3 of our audience in California considers themselves foodies. In other words, looking at destinations or our exceptional and unique culinary product as a destination driver to this great state, and they're spending about $36 billion in California annually. So in that sense, travelers are truly putting their money where their mouth is. So we're proud that our culinary culture is deeply rooted in the agricultural legacy of this state, because in California, farm to fork is not just a line, it's a lifestyle, and we all invented it here. Part of the compelling nature of this perfect pairing of tourism and agriculture and our culinary scene is the year-round variety that we're seeing, and the landscapes and the diversity of the crops and our experiences. And the Michelin Guide for California becomes Exhibit A in this incredible experience. It's well established that California already is at the epicenter of the culinary world. As Gwendol said, we have 8 3-star Michelin restaurants. New York only has 5. And that's a little competition there. That's only in the Bay Area. So we have much more ground to cover in the culinary space. But we're thrilled with our friends at Michelin. He's laughing because we're getting a little competitive. We're thrilled that our friends at Michelin, in all seriousness, are giving us that extra badge of credibility, particularly in the international space, where those international travelers come, they stay longer, they spend more, they travel during shoulder seasons, and there's a peak at some of the top indexes of that destination driver status where they're traveling for the culinary experiences. We're also at the cutting edge in California of sustainability in all parts of our lifestyle and culture, and there's no exception in the agricultural part of that being considered a renewable resource for California. Agriculture, like tourism, is the #1 industry in America, and it's the 5th largest agricultural economy in the world right here. We produce more variety of crops than any other place in the world. And frankly, if California were to disappear, what would the American diet look like? Well, it'd be expensive and grainy. So while we are focused on the nexus of what we are doing here in terms of the culinary and agricultural scene, we know that we also fuel and feed the world. Leveraging the power of the California brand will clearly define Michelin's place for a new generation of diners as well, such as exposing them to the methodology and clarity around all of Michelin's incredible recognition levels. I'd like to introduce to you at this point a very special friend and frankly somebody I consider an incredible ambassador for California. Assemblymember Kansen Chu, representing the 25th District in Alameda County. Assemblymember Chu chairs the Committee on Arts, Entertainment, Sports, Tourism, and Internet Media. He was born in Taiwan, and he immigrated to the United States as a graduate student in electrical engineering. It's my pleasure to welcome Chairman Chu. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn, for the introduction. I'm definitely very happy to be here, to be part of the announcement and speak on the importance of California being the first state to have its own Michelin guide. This is a great moment, and our state should be extremely proud. We love good food, and now we are being recognized for having good food. Having California Michelin Guide is a huge tribute to our agricultural industry and the fresh and bounty products it provides to thousands and thousands of our restaurants. It is a global recognition of what we know for a long time. Our restaurant industry in California and the dedicated, creative people who work in it are truly, truly world class. And this is also a tribute to our terrific travel industry. California is already a leader in attracting tourists from around the world. More than 7 million visited from Mexico and almost 2 million from China just in 2017. They spend more than $130 billion a year and employ more than 1 million in our tourism industry. They are coming not just for the beautiful cities, the Disneyland, the Hollywood, the beautiful beach and the mountains. They're actually coming to eat. More than a quarter of the people that visit California or considering California as a vacation spot are looking for fine, good food. Travelers to California spend $30 billion on eating alone in 2017, and that is a lot of good food. I truly believe the recognition from a world-renowned organization like Michelin for our entire state will only increase attraction to California. It will truly set us apart from other potential destinations and help our powerful tourism industry to grow even stronger. Thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you very much. Assembly Member Chu. I'd like to echo what so many here have shared this morning. The launch of a West Coast Michelin Guide is a proverbial game changer and offers tremendous recognition for all of the cities involved. The truth is, you'd expect people like me to say how great our restaurants are, but when Michelin says it, it's an entirely new level of credibility. And speaking as the president of Visit Sacramento, this announcement is especially meaningful for the culinary community and the residents of our city. We are standing in an arena that sources 90% of its food from within 150 miles of this building. It is the only arena in the U.S. that does that, because it is the only arena in the U.S. that can do that. The Sacramento region boasts more than 1.5 million acres of active farmland. Our farmers bring more than 160 unique crops out of our soil each year. Add California into that equation, and you found some of the most productive earth and the freshest food in the world. I know that for so many of our chefs, many of who are here this morning, they're focused on the holistic impact of their craft on others. They're fixated on the guest experience. They keep their heads down, and they're doing the work that undoubtedly affects so many people. And they aren't necessarily focused on the recognition. But all the same, the recognition matters. Opening the door for consideration in the Michelin Guide raises the stakes in Sacramento in all the best ways possible. It pushes our restaurant community to be the finest it can be every day for every guest who walks through their doors. That's an initiative that we should all get behind. To put this in context for the people of Sacramento, prior to this morning, there were 4 cities in the United States that had Michelin-reviewed restaurants: New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and San Francisco. To have Sacramento now on that list is extraordinary. It's also a testament to the hard work of so many that this city is now keeping that culinary company. We're excited about what's ahead for this region, and Visit Sacramento is committed to continue shining the national and international culinary spotlight that is fixed upon our city and state. Before I finish, I'd like to recognize John Reinhardt and Martina Kolokotronis for their partnership on today's events. John and I both share the goal of making this building the first Michelin-starred arena in the country, and if you've eaten here, that's not really that far-fetched. Thank you again to Carolyn Batetta and the staff of Visit California. And finally, thank you to Michelin, to Gwendol, to Cynthia Ackerbeck, and the rest of the team in both France and the United States for the opportunity to share our restaurants with your readers. We're confident that they will enjoy them as much as we do. To close the program, let's bring back Gwendol for some final remarks.
Thank you to all partners, government officials, and Chef Keller for being with us and sharing their thoughts this morning. We are very excited to celebrate and reveal the Michelin Guide California in early June. Now you are all in for a treat with a culinary program that features our very own global Michelin star chef with a question and answer session and lunch. Please come and join me on stage as I call your name. Please, Thomas, can you come with me to welcome the chef on stage? So, Michael Tusk for Queens. Paul Cantu from California. Alvin Lung from Bow Innovation, London and Singapore. Sung Han from Mosu. And we are also grateful and would like to recognize our special guest, Coralie from Benue, and Kyle and Katina Connaughton from Singapore. This concludes our morning press conference. We look forward to seeing you again in a few months.